a life hack for any poor families out there that might be struggling. So when I was a kid growing up, the other orphans in the program used to make fun of me because I was the raggedy kid. My shorts were always short shorts because I was outgrowing them. My father only wanted to bring me shopping around Christmas time or during summer when I'm going back to school, and he wanted to limit the amount he was spending on clothing. Meanwhile, the clothing is not like it used to be made to last. We're in fast fashion where things are only meant to last 30 days and then be thrown away. So the clothing he's buying is cheap, but he doesn't know why it's cheap. My father doesn't understand that if you're paying $2 for a shirt, it's probably fast fashion and it's going to make your skin red and start bleeding out on you, and then you won't want to wear it, or there'll be a problem or whatever. Also, if you buy a kid at the age of 12 a pair of shorts, he cannot wear those same pair of shorts at the age of 14. But my father would say, no, 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 they're just above the knee, they're fine. Go to school like that, you're fine. I'm not buying you new shorts, you got shorts. Then I would wear the shorts and I'd be made fun of. And they would say, what are you, a homosexual? First you have a wisp, then you're so gay, Zach, you're so gay. So on top of this, I'm gay from the beginning. So of course, after I've been called gay my whole entire life, I start wondering if I am. And then I start wearing rainbow sleeves, and then I don't know what to tell these people. So it causes more problems. So yes, with all this stuff going on and be calling the rag kid and being made fun of for either having an extra extra large sweater or having short shorts or having jeans that look like my mother's or something like that, instead of me buying my jeans at Costco and getting Costco jeans for Christmas, meanwhile my father spends my $980 clothing and housing check on his own mortgage and then shoves me in a program, meanwhile made fun of for having the least amount of clothing, the least amount of food, and the least amount of health care. Yes, I'm the most drugged. I have the most health issues in the program. I have the least amount of help. I have the worst parents. Literally, the orphans with no parents get better health care than me with parents. The orphans with no parents get better clothing than me with parents who get $980 for me. The orphans who literally have no parents get better medications and better medications depending on their side effects and their illnesses than me, an orphan with parents. Because my mother and father were siphoning all the benefits that were meant for me to use for themselves. Yes, all the way from the beginning. If I won a swimming medal, my mother siphoned that accomplishment and threw it in the trash. She wanted to take all my accomplishments away, take all my money away, take all my health away, take anything that was mine and crush it. My swimming medal that I won? No, you're a liar. It's not your swimming medal. I don't care what you say. It's not your swimming medal. I'm crushing this now. How about my Social Security? No, we need it for our mortgage. You don't need any more clothing. No, you don't. I don't care what you say. You don't need clothing, and those children aren't getting $200 a month. Yeah, those orphans that have nothing else to look forward to in their lives, that literally have no parents, nothing to do, they literally are going to spend the whole lives in an orphanage. They don't need that $200 once a month. That they don't need clothing. They don't need that. They eat shitty food for year after year. They use shitty schools. They get shitty education. Well, better than mine. That's another thing. These orphans who have no parents got a 10 times better education than I got. In New Mexico, the education I got was if you don't eat your food, you're getting strangled, and go wander in the woods, and here's a rock, go chop a hammer. Oh, and here's a video game system, sit here and watch the older kids play it. Oh, and we're going to go out in the woods and go camping. That's the education I got in New Mexico. How about in Maine? You should know this already. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. What is all this paperwork here for if you don't know how to do it? I got a bunch of screams. That's my mother trying to homeschool me after 18 months of no school and a big pile of paperwork just being given to her that I'm supposed to know every last dot of, and my mother hasn't even taught herself how to know it. And she's just yelling at me to know it, to know it, to know it. Then my father comes in and I actually get partly taught. Yes, my father comes in the room, my mother calms down, and he goes, oh yes, see, this is a math problem. You go here. Yeah, you just got to go and add that to that. See if you have 4 here, 4 there. And he starts explaining because my father understands the material. He's looked over the material real quick. He's read the material. He goes, oh, okay. And then he goes to me and he tries to explain the material to me in a way that teaches you. But my mother, as soon as my father leaves and is gone for a good hour, right back to the nonsense. Then she even locks me in a room with the work while she wanders off. I have no clue where she went. I went looking for her, and that's why she locked me in the room, because I found her. It took me like 30 minutes to find her. She was on the phone, then she locked me in the room with my work, or shut the door and told me not to leave. I don't know if the doorknob was locked or not. She would have beat the crap out of me at that point. I know that look. So anyways, well, when I say beat the crap, I mean pick up a ruler and smack me in the face, give me a backhand, throw a shoe at my face, smack me in the face, smack me in the face, smack me in the face, scream at me, or try to twist my mind or tell me I'm awful, tell me I'm no good, tell me the dogs are better than me, stuff like that. And I don't need that at the age of 12, 10 years old, with missing out on now 3 years of education, 12 years old, and I'm missing 3 years of education. Then we move to Chelmsford, and I miss out on another year, making it 4 total on total missed out. And don't forget, you also got the time of moving. So when we moved to Texas, even though they had a real school there that gave me a real education, for the first year there, they have to establish what level I'm at. So they waste my time. They waste because they're redoing the same work. They're not teaching you anything new yet because they need to figure out what level you're at. So for the first good while, I'm wasting time too. So I lost out from all those moves as well. So more than 4 years. So what can you do about your child in the poor family, your child not having clothing and he's being made fun of and he's having trouble? Well, one, you can apply for some type of assistance and then actually use that assistance on your child. So if you get Social Security, put 100 a month away for your child or 50 a month away. If he lives in a program where they're willing to drive him and bring him out to go shopping, even better. Now you don't even have to drive him. You can have somebody else bring him clothing shopping. And if your son wastes his money, then he looks funny because he bought the wrong stuff, and then he can buy something else next month. Because $50 a month is enough to buy maybe one pair of jeans a month and one shirt a month. Doesn't like one thing or he's made fun of for one thing, he'll choose better the next time. So that would have been a good way to do it. But let's say you're really poor and none of those are an option. Let's say that you're not able to get any of assistance. All your money's going to your bills. You live in the smallest apartment possible and you're working 2 jobs as it is. Well, in that case, take your old clothing that your kid doesn't want. There's a pair of jeans he just won't wear because he's being made fun of, and cut those into the right size shorts. Or maybe if your kid is goth or hippie or what's that new one? Steampunk? Maybe add a gear on the side, bleach them a brown color, make them look faded, or, you try to give them a look of what your son is trying to go for. If he's looking for the rip look, put some rips in there, sew it, try to do your best. Do your best with what you have to work with to try to give your son a decent future. One thing he needs to know is he needs to look presentable in front of the people that he's going to build a relationship with. So the teachers, he only needs to be up to code with them. They're going to teach him if he's dressed up to code one way or up to code or the next. But building relationships with girlfriends and boyfriends and just friends in general, you need to have some presentability. You can't be wearing short shorts, look gay. No, nobody's going to hang out with you because they'll think you're homosexual. You can't be wearing mama pants because then everybody will want to stay away from you because you're wearing your mom's pants even though you're not. You're just wearing Costco jeans. You're wearing Costco jeans, but they look like women's jeans because your father doesn't want to shell out. He'd rather spend your Social Security on his mortgage and then only allow you to stay there 8 days a month. And on top of that, that's on a good month. On the months where my father wants to go on vacation, don't think of this as like a once a year vacation either. This is like his monthly vacation or his bi-monthly vacation or whatever. So if he wants to go out on some trip or whatever, yeah, you don't get to go home. Now you only get 2 days in the whole month to stay in the home that your check is paying for. For $980, I could have had my own apartment back then. Let me see, 2009, could have I got a studio for $980 and not had to deal with the mother poisoning me or anything? Yeah, I could have, absolutely. Now, when I was in the rooming program And my father got thrown out for keeping my Social Security. Now I was supposed to be handing over $600 in rent. Would have my Social Security paid that? Oh, absolutely. If I stayed in the program and they helped me get their attorney, who they give to all the kids there who are on Social Security, and they showed me how to fill out the paperwork, where they have people there to help, and I was able to keep my money. Would have that 980 paid my rent indefinitely while I went to school and college? Or while I did a part-time job on weekends? Absolutely. 980 a month, plus me working on weekends while going to a doctor twice a week and while trying to go to school for chemistry would have worked out. But my father decided to pocket the money. So I got thrown out and I had to live with my mother dying while she tried to drink during liver failure, popping pills, popping my Vicodin, popping my meds, dying of liver failure while trying to drink, my father losing his mind, her dying, then my father trying to cover up her drinking, then my father dating somebody else right after smacking me and acting all crazy. Then, my father treats my girlfriend like shit. She runs off crying, thinking my father's racist. Then his girlfriend literally comes in, and I'm supposed to be all respectful. I'm supposed to be all nice. I'm supposed to be accepting. So I am. I accept her into the home. I accept her into the family. I'm nice to his girlfriend. They marry. What does she do? She brings drugs into the house, and then I take those drugs, and then she turns it on me, tells me that I get thrown out with no consequences for the girlfriend bringing the drugs in the house. And by the way, these are illegal drugs. These are Percocet and Xanax, prescribed to a person who isn't even alive anymore. This is her dead husband's prescription, and she's bringing it into another person's house. This person isn't alive. It's illegal to take these prescriptions, and according to this, my father's girlfriend, she would never get high off of Percocet and Xanax. She would never sell drugs either. So she would never sell these prescriptions, and she would never swallow these prescriptions. So if she's not going to take her dead husband's meds, and she's not going to sell her dead husband's meds, then why is she bringing illegal drugs into me and my father's house? Tell me that. Because she's trying to see if I go into my mother's closet? I don't know. It's my mother. It's my mother's closet. My mother just died, crippling me without settling her business. Now my father's trying to run off with a woman into the sunset without handling his shit or business. Now I'm going to die a slow, painful death. I'm not going to be able to collect my Social Security. I'm not going to be able to work. I'm going to be injured for the rest of my life. I don't know this med situation. It's all fucked up. And now this person's bringing more drugs, more pills, and she's talking about me continuing to take my medication. And she's leading off right where my mother left off with the storytelling. What the fuck am I supposed to do? So instead of bringing these meds like I did last time, because the last time one of my father's wives was taking pills that they shouldn't, or had pills in that closet they shouldn't, or were taking my prescriptions when they shouldn't, I brought it up to my father. He turned it around on me. My mother was taking my prescriptions illegally that I would have needed. It was a PRN for me. And my mother was taking these drugs to get high. So I told my father, did you think that he got my mother help? You think he told my mother to stop mixing my Vicodin with alcohol and stop stealing your son's medication? No. They turned it around on me and blamed me. So of course, I can't tell my father there's illegal pills in his house. They'll just say, why are you in there? Why are you looking? Well, it's my mother's fucking bedroom. I want to see what the fuck is going on around this fucking house. I want to see what you're doing in my fucking house. I gave up my Social Security. I gave it up. If you want to get me 980 and get my Social Security all fixed up that you profited off of so I can maybe have my retirement one day, if you want to get me medical care to undo the poison that you poured down my throat, then you get the bailout and do that. But if you're going to steal my money, then use it for your rent. Meanwhile, I live far away. Now, if I was living in your house, then I would have nothing to complain about. Then you could say, well, you were living there. What, did you not want a roof on your head, Zach? But see, the thing is, I was still living in an orphanage. There were whole months that went by and I didn't get to step foot in that house. There were times where I didn't get my boots or jacket because they were in the house I was paying for and I wasn't allowed in it. Meanwhile, I'm not causing any trouble. I'm going to school. I'm well behaved. I'm working with these other kids. What's the real issue? My mother's acting insane. What did the program say about me? Here, I spent 2 years in the Lawrence program. What was my rap there? Was I the brat? Was I the weed smoker? Was I the troublemaker? You know what I was? I was the kid who smoked pot and helped helped the staff members. I was the most helpful. This is what they called. They called me in the office one time, and this is what they said to me: Zach, if you could stop smoking weed, you would be the most amazing kid that we've ever had in this program. We've never seen a kid be so helpful, caring, and try to clean his room and do so much stuff to help out a program. You're always helping out staff members. You're always doing the extra mile. You're cleaning your room. You go to school. You know, you're very polite with the other kids. You're never fighting. You're never screaming. You're never stealing. When somebody steals from you, you're very good about it. When somebody breaks into your safe, you just have a very mature way of handling it. So, you're by far one of the best behaved kids we've ever had in this program. But can you stop smoking weed? Okay, how about in the other program, Crossroads? Crossroads said the same thing. Can you stop smoking cigarettes and running away to smoke a cigarette and coming right back? I'd run away for 3 minutes, have a cigarette, and come right back. They said the same thing. We've never had a kid so well behaved, but you seem to have some maturity issues. We don't know. We sent you to the hospital. You seemed like something was wrong with you, but your drug test came back negative. What's wrong? I said, I don't know. Do you want attention? No. They chalk it up to attention, and they say that I can play with the staff. What the fuck is that about? You send me to the emergency room because I don't look good. My drug test comes back clean, but instead of looking at other stuff, you chalk it up to I want attention. I don't want your fucking staff hanging around me. Get the fuck. I just want a cigarette and to be left alone. That, what you were looking at, was from the medication you're giving me. Whenever you give me drugs, it affects me. And they noticed that later. Later, the staff member says, I think it's the medication that we're reporting, not drugs. Because they sent me to the emergency room over and over. Clean urine, clean urine, clean urine. Cough medicine caused PCP to show up. By the way, yes, if you take cough medicine, it shows up as PCP in the emergency room. I had it happen several times. Some from abusing cough medicine, and sometimes just for having the flu, taking some regular flu and cold, and then going to the emergency room. Yes, flu and cold, dextromorphin, stuff like that, pops as PCP in the emergency room. I know this for a fact. Anyway, so I'm always getting these good reviews. The only problem they say I have is that some illness they can't quite put their finger on, and that I try to treat this illness with marijuana or cough medicine when I was in Haverhill because I was only 15. By the time I was older, the cough medicine went out the window. It was barely a thing by the time I was in high school. Yeah, there was an incident here or there, but it was getting embarrassing. It's, pot. Once when I could get my hands on pot, I didn't need the cough medicine anymore. But some pots made me worse. Some marijuana does make me worse and not better. My neurological disorder has been happening for 25 years, so I've been trying to figure out what makes it better and worse. Diet is something. I've noticed that depending on what I eat, some things make it feel better, some things make it feel worse. There's a lot. Anyway, so no matter which program I went to, all the way back to St. Anne's at the age of 5, I'm getting the award. I'm getting to go get Legos and action figures because I'm the best behaved kid in the orphanage, all the way to the time I'm 18, 19 years old in Lawrence. They're telling me that I'm the best kid they ever had. The only thing they wish they could change is me smoking weed, nothing else. They don't think they could change anything else about me and I would be better. I'm always helpful. I'm always good going. I mean, even when the girls were stuck in the house with no way to see their families, and it was just me and 2 girls and one staff member that liked to drink too much, I went and hung out with the girls. I let them do my hair and whatever. I didn't care. Everybody else thought, oh, well, these girls are going to go nuts. Zach's going to be in his room playing video games, and this is going to be a hell of a weekend. Instead, the girls had a blast making up a boy's hair. All weekend, they just did a makeup, and then I washed it out before anybody else came. Yes, it was just 3 girls and me. This used to happen a lot, though, where I would be left at the program, and all the kids with parents would go home. This happened a lot during my life. All the kids with parents went to see their parents, and I would be left with all the orphans who have no parents, or the orphans whose parents don't care about them. There was a lot of kids who have no parents that are orphans, because remember, these programs are mostly filled with orphans, But there's also adopted kids or foster kids who have parents that just really don't want to be parents. They just wanted to suck the system dry. And or they just wanted a pet. They wanted another dog, so they adopted. And then now we have to suffer for their loss. Now, normally that's okay. It's not a big deal. You know, as long as they get a roof, their health is still intact, they get fed, they don't get any food poisoning, and they get the basic clothing. There's nothing wrong with that. You can drop your kid, it's an orphan. But if you're damaging this orphan's health, if this kid is developing a neurological disorder, if you're trafficking him to multiple states, if you're giving him more drugs than he's ever been in on his life, if he starts off on 2 pills and by the time he's 14 he's on 8 pills and the mother's the one pushing for more and more pills, that might be a dangerous problem that needs to be looked into. Because that orphan, when he goes in the program, your adopted mother still is in control of your health care. The program does not control your health care if you're adopted. Your mother does. So your adopted mother, who spends no time with you, decides on what health care you're going to get. And if she wants you to take massive amounts of drugs and keeps on trying to add dangerous medications to the list as much as possible, then that could be a problem, especially after an overdose at age 7, full bottles of Ipecac, and trafficking your child all over the country while not supervising his health. That's a big fucking problem, and that's why I have to die now. Yes, I'm going to be dying in the woods very soon, and even if I don't die in the woods, I'm going to continue suffering and being in pain, and I still am not going to be able to collect Social Security. I'm still not going to be able to work without getting injured. I'm still not going to be able to drive. I'm still going to be broke, and I'm still going to be getting evicted. No matter what I do, these things will be true until we get this shit cleared up. Then those things might not be true anymore. And that's what I'm hoping for one day.